Good morning, folks. Jezza, how's it going? I'm up. I'm awake. I promise. 3:59, just in time. Coffee, water, ready to go. The French are currently belting out the Marseillaise, so happy days. It's a pretty good anthem. The Italians put in a decent effort with their anthem as well, actually. But yeah, the commentator here just said that it don't matter, they don't win anyway. Nathan, man, how's it going? Long time no see on a stream. Predictions for this one? See if there's any changes to the lineups. I've only just gotten out of bed. Front row looks, the forward pack for France looks the same. France by 20, says Jezza. Jaminet is there, Intermax there, Dupont's there, Villiers, Pinot, fair enough. Why isn't Teddy Thomas playing? I'm not actually sure. He was one of their main stats guys from the last tournament, that's for sure. Allez le bleu, says Mr. Breaking Bud. Respect the rivals, good man. And Nathan says first win big upset. It would be more than a big upset. I think it would literally be their first ever win at the Stade de France, so that would be pretty huge. At least 20, fair enough, Jezza. Frankie says also 20 odd points. Jack says Ramos should have started at 15. Yeah, I think Jaminet with the goal kicking is part of it. One of the guys in the comments mentioned that he's got like 90+% for his goal kicking, which is extraordinary. Most guys are like 70, 80. Frankie, what are your thoughts on the box joining the Six Nations at Italy's expense? Or given Italy is one of the part owners of the Six Nations, I can't see them being willing to roll over for that one. Somehow. If the box were to join, it would have to be in addition to rather than instead of, I would imagine. Then you get an odd number of teams, which is not ideal. Excited to see what Ioane can do, says Jack. He is a pretty good winger. He's one of the few Italian guys who in the last tournament like proper cracked up some good offensive stats, which was pleasing. Teddy Thomas injured. Thank you, mate. Mighty. Good to know. I mean, you're not missing much when you got Pinot and Villiers starting, so that's different. Teddy Thomas certainly unique. Right, game is underway on my stream. As always, sometimes I'll be behind you guys, so if I am behind, try not to drop any too devastating spoilers until they've popped up on the game, if you don't mind, please. Fleshing. No way. How's it going, man? How are you recovering after your Welsh boys didn't perform up to expectations yesterday? Tim as well. Yo, you are supposed to be at the bar, mate, or do you guys not go to the bar for Italy against France? Just hope Italy are competitive for the majority of the match, Jezza. Well, if you remember that game against the All Blacks last year, Italy were competitive for about an hour. And then the All Blacks ran in like 3 or 4 late tries. Tim says you don't go out for Italy. Fair enough. Fair enough. Hopefully one day. I got to admit, I was tempted not to get out of bed for this one. Because 4 o'clock in the morning means I got up 20 minutes ago, 3:40. I was tempted to sleep. interestingly, yesterday I talked to my missus about it and I said, oh man, should I get up or should I just like watch it a bit later? And she's like, oh, if you said to the guys you're going to get up, then you should get up. And I was like, yeah, that's right. And then she said, I can get up with you. I'll make you breakfast while you get your stream set up. And I was like, you won't do that. Sure enough, this morning, she heard my alarm go off and she just goes, good luck, have fun. There was no offer of breakfast at 3:40 in the morning. Anyway. Frankie says, recently moved to NZ. Where can I stream live sports? Only getting Sky One so you're in a rental. Frankie, I watch on Sky for the most part. Yeah, otherwise go with the VPN. It's always a good one. I sometimes do the VPN for the URC and stuff, but the South African teams are a bit harder to find on there. We are almost 3 minutes into this game. Monty looks and runs just like his uncle Digby, Ivano. I did not actually know they're related. That makes sense, but there's a lot of Ioannis out there. Now, Dupon's in my fantasy team, so I could kind of use him having a cracking game, to be honest. Tim says, just got home with Kobe. He's just won his game this morning. Good stuff, Kobe. Hopefully he had a good game, enjoyed himself. They've just opened registrations for my my son's team for the next season. Darren, are you watching on ITV? I'm watching on Sky in New Zealand, just because I'm streaming. So I've got whatever the international stream is. Is RTE available in New Zealand, Jack? If you have a VPN, yes, it's available. Otherwise, no. Did you see Portugal got an away draw against Georgia, Hydra? I did not. That's amazing. What's wrong with Georgia? Do they not have their big guns, or is Georgia just that good? Jack says, I thought Intermac kicked and got him for my fantasy. I put Jamine as my captain, so he better kick all his goals. But I also picked Intermac as well, because I figured he might set up a few tries. First French points on the board through the boot of Jaminet. It's 3-0, and the commentators on my stream are going on about it. The crowd is looking pretty bloody good. Jesus, one of his nephews has taken up rugby at 5. That's when my son started. He started at 5. And weirdly enough, he kind of started later than most of his teammates. A lot of his teammates had started at 4. So he was a little bit behind. I was like, damn, I'm off the boil here. Neil says, happy Waitangi Day. Oh, cheers, man. If you guys didn't know, Waitangi Day is New Zealand's national holiday, so it's a holiday here today. My missus is home. The kids are going to be home once they get up, so happy days. Which fly half should I pick for fantasy, Jack? Generally, who's ever playing Italy, I would imagine. Portugal were amazing. Unlucky not to get the win, Hydra. Damn, I might have to watch that. It's absolutely piddling down here again, by the way. I don't know if you can hear that on the mic, but If so, apologies. I should probably get like my lavalier mic out, but yeah, it is absolutely hosing. I thought Intermac was France's kicker Jack. He usually is, but when Jaminet plays, he tends not to because I think Jaminet's got the better boot. But I picked both just in case. But I thought it would be Jaminet, so I made him my captain. There you go. Well, here's trouble. Oh, Villiers was close on the left. If he'd gathered it, he might have been in. Intermac, Fiku, kick through, Villiers, close. Close. I just released highlights, Hydra. Okay. Maybe after the game I'll have a look. Sean's got both Toulouse halfbacks in his fantasy team at French number. I got Dupont 9, Intermac 10, Pinot on the right wing, and I've got Jaminet as my captain at fullback. So I'm hoping France clock through some points and he gets some goals. At least the official game seems to reward goal kicking a lot. So yeah. How big is that French number 3 flesh in? Antonio is he's a unit. He is a proper big unit. You're not wrong. I wouldn't expect him to go much past 40 minutes, but we'll see. Jesus says, oh, by the way, Mark, there was a bit of sporting history made for New Zealand this morning. Winter Olympics gold. I have no idea about it. I haven't watched a second of the Olympics. What did we win gold in? Like snowboarding? Certainly wasn't curling. Oh, Fiku contesting a high ball. Padovani nails it. What an aerial take. Talk about pressure. Do you think Northern Hemisphere versus Southern Hemisphere would be a good idea? For example, France versus Ireland box. North Hem if they get a point, vice versa. So, Jack, yeah, it's just fitting it into the calendar, eh? Any kind of new tournament is hard to fit in the calendar. Igor, good morning, man. Watching greetings. Got to give the Kiwi Nation a big attaboy for integrating the nation. Interestingly, Igor, in terms of national days, Waitangi Day is a bit low key. Like, we're not outside waving New Zealand flags and setting up fireworks. It's not like a 4th of July or I don't know, other country. Like, I've been in China for their national day, and like every 10 years they'll like parade freaking tanks down the street. It's not really like that, eh? There's still a bit of controversy about the history of Waitangi and the treaty that was signed there, so it's so it's kept a bit low key. You kind of just do your own thing. It just says yes, it was snowboarding. Nice, good on New Zealand getting a gold medal at the Winter Olympics. French number 3, Mr. Breaking Bud says 150 kgs. Goodness gracious me. Big unit. Time check, Mike. It is 10:40 on the clock. Italy have just won a breakdown penalty. They have kicked long into French territory. They are just around the French 22 with a chance to attack at line-out time. And they secure their own ball, which is a good start, but they don't want to maul it. They want to get it out to that backline. Ah, right. Zoe with the snowboarding. I've heard of her. So, I can't pronounce her name, but I've heard of her. That's why my guess was snowboarding. DTX says they should pick the best from the north and south to have a game Celebrate rugby tradition as a sport. I guess the closest we get to that is the Lions Tour, which is the best of four of the northern teams, and then the Barbars often as a mix of some of the South Africans and Kiwis and Aussies and whatnot. If Waitangi Day is controversial, God knows what Australia Day is like in comparison. Is that right? I thought you guys got out for barbecues and stuff for Australia Day. I guess people do it for Waitangi Day as well. Or are you talking about just the history? And the French pack just monstered the Italians. That 150 kgs of Antonio. Yep. Neil, do you think Eddie Jones does not care about this year's Six Nations just slowly building for 2023 France? Eddie is definitely in the early stages of his rebuild. So yeah, maybe that's something you could read into it. So, yeah. I remember Australia's first ever winter gold was won by a speed skater when everyone else fell over. Fosbury, right? The flop. It was two races. It was the qualifying race. Everyone fell over. And then the final. Everyone fell over. And apparently if those people hadn't scrambled to get over the line, if three of them had just stopped, they would have rerun the race. But they were so desperate to finish that he just went over for gold. Crazy. Where do Wales go from yesterday, Dr. Hoover? Man, that's a good question. I think away to Ireland is maybe a bit of a tough market, but they'll have to look at how little they were able to generate an attack, that's for sure. Why didn't Garbisi mark that? And now they've lost the ball. I know he wants to play, but damn, man, it's raining. Take the mark. Luke says, do you think yesterday's result for Wales was a true reflection of weather, given poor performance and luck in last year's Six Nations? I think it's a big difference in the team, man. They're without so many guys, like compared to last year. George North was in cracking form last year. He wasn't playing. Alan Wynne, all his experience and his work rate, even though Rollins had a pretty good game, not playing. I know Basham had a good game, but Tipperick wasn't there. The Sheriff wasn't there. Like, heaps of guys weren't there. But, yeah, it was certainly concerning. I won't deny that. And Ushman says the Fosbury flop is something else. Oh no, that's the high jump. You're right. The Fosbury flop is the high jump when everyone else was doing scissors. Bradbury, that's right. Bradbury doing a Bradbury. I'm getting the two mixed up. Thank you, Jezza. Rugby pass. What are you guys doing here? Freaking 4:20 in the morning, unless you're based in the UK, which is a nice time. Italy could win, you never know. Well, still only 3-0. Never know. I see Carlos at work watching this. Don't get yourself into any trouble, mate. Alright, come on, Italy. Nice kick from Varney. But, oh, I was going to say Jaminet just devoured it, but no, he knocked it on. Come on, Italy. Get on the board. Go. Quick ball. Go, go, go. Garbisi with the cross kick. There's space. There's acres of space. It's going to be a try. Oh, what a try. Minicello on his debut with a 19-year-old. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Come on. No way. Oh, they're going to check it. They're going to check it. Let's not get too excited. But wow, that was like... That was proper clinical, but punishing a mistake. CC. Garbisi is a well-weighted kick, and oh, is his foot in touch? Oh, I think his foot's in touch. No. Ooh, that angle looks okay. The other angle looked bad. Bloody hell, that angle. Even the TMO looks pumped for Italy to get a try. This one looks bad. The front angle looks like he's definitely out. That one looks out by a mile. But the other one is the one. That looks alright. Yeah. That side looks alright. That's going to be a try. What a try. What a try. I mean, I still think France are going to come back and win. But I'm pleased for Italy, man. Come on. They're the ultimate underdogs of this tournament. Great kick, wasn't it? Crowley doesn't even look phased. Yeah, he's a pretty cool customer. Come on, Garbisi. Slot this one. He's nailed it. What a kick. Let's update that score. Would you believe it? Great kick system, absolutely. April Tui, good morning. Yeah, that was a really good try. Pleasing. Pleasing for the Italians. Niall says France with numbers, left them numbers on the outside. We won't take them seriously. I think they were just scrambling to get back, eh? Because they turn over ball, maybe. I don't know. But yeah. Jaminet did a bit better with that one. Screenshot it quick, says Gus. Yeah, I know, right? When did you get all fancy and ditch the whiteboard and start posting a score with the graphics? I tried this one recently yesterday. This way I can actually watch on my computer instead of on my TV. Ooh, it's a high tackle maybe? No. Italy lives to fight another day. Mark this one. Yes, he does. Good man. Yeah, because if I watch the games on the TV, which is just over there, I have to kind of move all my equipment, which is kind of a pain in the ass, and I just had knee surgery, so I can't be bothered. So this actually works kind of nicely. Nice to see Italy survive a TMO inspection and make the conversion equal. Absolutely. They need all the lead they can get. Bit of mental, I don't know, confidence. What a moment for the Italian wing, Apple Juice. Absolutely, man. You're on your debut, 19 years old, up against one of the best teams in the world. Pretty good way to make your mark to start off with. Penalty for France. Maul time. France going to opt for the 3. No, this time they're going for touch. Italy has poked the bear, like somebody said. France is mad. France is going for the jugular jizzer. Yeah, I get the feeling they're none too pleased about being behind after 21 minutes. Oh, the Italians have almost nicked it, but not quite. Oh, that was close. But they have lost it. Patrick, yep, that's water. That's 4:26 in the morning. Water. Not gin. That'd be a hell of a glass of gin. Oh my god. Jaminet, what a kick. Wow. I need to make a note of that. That's. Whoa. Oh, what? Villiers tackled someone off the ball, or was it one of the Italian guys? What? Oh. That's... Oh yeah, Villiers gave him a push. But come on, man, that was a nice 50-20. Mike, $5 says, get yourself a proper coffee. Cheers, man. I will. I am going out today. I'm going to go see my old man. I haven't seen him for a few days, seeing as I had knee surgery in the week. I haven't really been able to drive, but I can drive now because it's my left leg that had the surgery, so I don't need the left leg to drive my car. Apart from the fact that the parking brake is a foot brake, but yeah, I think I'll survive. I'll get myself a coffee. Cheers, man. Look forward to it. Raymond from South Africa, big fan of channel, great content. Appreciate that, man. Good to have you along. Hope you're watching the game. Super Sport. Italy's in front against France after 23 minutes, 7-3. Natural talent. Happy to have you along. Flesh and what's up with the knee? I never knew what it was, but apparently there's a part of your knee called the meniscus, which is like between the two bones, like in your knee. There's like a shock absorber of cartilage there. And I had a tear in the meniscus for a couple of years, and I never knew it. I just wondered why I always got a freaking sore knee. I'd seen my doctor about it 3 times, and they finally picked up what it was, so they decided to fix it for me. So I had very, very, very minor surgery. Like, took half an hour. They had to knock me out for it, but yeah, I had minor surgery in the week. and hopefully it's fixed. I don't know, I'm still limping around on it, but I can walk, just kind of potter around at the minute. Is this France being sloppy or Italy putting up a fight? I think it's a bit of both. France, certainly, that try came from a French mistake. And the Italians were clinical with that opportunity. Oh, France have been pinged again. Raymond's not missing a game this weekend. Good man. Kakinen. Hey, man. You must be happy chappy after yesterday. Can't believe the manner we beat that shambles of a Welsh side that won the championship last year. Well, to be fair, a lot of the players that won the championship last year weren't playing. But, yeah, your boys were absolutely brutal. Jack says, for fudge's sake. Hydra says, look up. Okay, I'm looking. Italian line out in their own half. Oh, no. Oh, that's soft. That's a gift. Gelon, man. Wookie actually got a finger to it. Man, that's brutal. Not what Italy needed. Is he going to get this? Oh, off the post. Eight points to 7. Meniscus tear, but you won't have any problems with it until you're an old codger like you. I used to just AK. And I couldn't run. I could walk and I could run for like 100 yards and then I'd be like, no, I can't run anymore. So the doctor reckoned I should get it fixed. So yeah, see. We'll see. The dive was hilarious. Natural talent. Yeah, I don't think Geelong scores that many tries. He was pretty pumped. And it's raining. Why not have a slider? Hanson was deserving man of the match. Our gain, Australia's loss. We're calling him Mick Hanson now. Whatever works, man. He was a good player back in Australia, but the Brumbies didn't play him when one of their other guys came back fit. I can't remember who. But yeah, big loss. Stefan, unsure if Squidge's vid on Italy has some real hype for Italy, though. Hype? I haven't actually watched that video, but I've seen it in my feed. I think I know what he's on about, right? All the young under-20s guys coming through. Kieran Crowley, because he's a pretty good coach at, I don't know, seemingly getting something out of nothing. Affliction says, my kneecap was crumbling and ripping my cartilage. Had to have the inside of it smoothed and vacuumed. Jesus Christ, excuse me, but bloody hell, that sounds horrendous. 28 minutes in, Italy are looking pretty solid. This is a good game. These conditions look very Six Nations, says Cobalt. It seems to be pretty wet in much of Europe all weekend, to be fair. The Wales, Ireland, and Scotland, England games also looked a wee bit miserable. Yeah, Garbisi should nail this one. Hydra says to look up what's going on. Is he not going to get the kick? It was horrendous. Blah. He's nailed it. Okay. Back in front. I wouldn't have thought I would have to kind of keep track of lead changes in this game, but we've got another one. There goes the Mexican wave. So France in front, then lead change for Italy, then lead change for France, and now lead change for Italy. So we're back to the third lead change. Happy days. One Italian mistake, they aren't getting steamrolled. Yeah, that's true. It wasn't a kind of punished for bad, overall bad play. It was just a soft moment, eh? Well, Iran, man, a bit late for me. Enjoy the game, guys. Picked France by 28, so you could well be wrong. Go to bed, man. I've already had my sleep. But yeah, good to see you. And after 60 minutes will be the true test of the Italians, I reckon. Maul time. There was a bit of talk that the French were going to maul it. Sure enough. Varney's just stayed in the field of play. God, they need an exit here. They can't do it without their halfback, though. They need a forward to truck this up. Negri's going to get in there. Get up off the ground, Varney. Jesus. Why is Italy winning, Finster? I don't know, man. Garbisi with the box kick. What time was it there, CH? It's 4:37, yeah. Got myself out of bed at 3:40. Had some toast and a coffee, and here we are. Watching Italy put in a huge shift so far after 32 minutes. Oh, Italy ping for not rolling away. Italy showing real determination, maturity so far, Thiago. They are. So far, so good, man. It gives me optimism about the Italian side going forward. I mean, it's only 32 minutes of one game, so I won't get too excited, but yeah. CH says, I want Italy to win. They have a pretty good Kiwi manager and good doc on Rugby Pass. I interestingly watched that Rugby Pass documentary last night before I went to bed. The inside the Italian camp before the All Blacks game last year. It was really interesting. Hanjo says, interesting the commentators blame Ioane for that try. Why? He didn't throw that pass. He says he got two fellow geezers who both had complete knee replacements in both knees. They don't run much, but they beat on the recumbent bikes like nobody's business. Right? Well, at least they keep them fit. Yeah, I don't like running either, but I couldn't run before with my knee. It was buggered. Right, Jaminet is lining up a shot at goal after the Italians got pinged for that. Not rolling away, and he has nailed this one. So France are back in front. Fourth lead change. $11 to 10. Still game on, folks. Mike Roberts, another lead change, exactly. I wasn't really expecting any lead changes, maybe one. Do you remember a couple of years back when Ireland had a bonus point within 17 minutes versus Italy? I probably watched it. I can't actually recall. Italy have had a few hidings in recent years, and losing their own line out's not going to help. Damn. Jack, is Vakatawa injured? Nope. He was just sent back to his club. Imagine the scenes of Italy win. It would be amazing, but I think at the moment they just need to keep fighting. How do I think the Blues will go this season, Neil? I hope they're going to go well. They've had a few changes, though. It's the locks I'm maybe a little bit worried about, but anyway. Pollard or Garbisi? Oh, different players, eh? If you want a guy to carry it, Pollard. If you want a guy with a bit of flair, probably Garbisi. Pollard didn't have his best year, though, in 2021. At least for the box. Hydra reckons Wales are going to lose to Italy? Oh, I don't know. I still think Wales should be pretty big favourites against Italy. Could be wrong. I hope Italy's successful, man, but I mean, it's going to come at somebody's expense, eh? But they can't go on just being the whipping boys. Something has to turn around. No way Italy can keep this up, Flesh. Yeah, I mean, remember the game against the All Blacks last year was tight up until, I don't know, about an hour. And then the All Blacks just ran riot, so... James, man, how's it going? Good to see you. We've got a good game on our hands. Yeah, why did Dupont kick that one through? Just, I think they probably would have been better off keeping ball in hand, but he must have spotted something. Nemo, man, good afternoon. I haven't watched any Premiership this weekend. I think your boys won though, right? George is going to buy an Arsenal shirt as a Chelsea fan if Italy can win. That's a big statement. That's a pretty big statement. Boy, you're not allowed to burn it though. You got to wear the thing. Pork says 2 cents. When Johnny was injured for 6 months, he was out. But a sub from Munster and he was back in the Six Nations. I guess he's their key man. If Italy can get to halftime with the score as it is, they can be pleased with their efforts so far. Jezza, interestingly, if you guys did watch that Italian documentary on Rugby Pass, Kieran Crowley's not about the scoreboard stuff. He's about kind of like, what are some tangible achievements we can get in this game? Like, what do we want to see? And then it's not necessarily, oh, let's only be 10 points down kind of thing. It's, I guess, more practical stuff about the way they want to play the game. Oh, they've just given away a penalty right in front. France should kick that one. Tigers back on track. Liebenberger's back. All right. 2 losses, and then that's it. Back on track. Oh, France are going for touch with a minute to go. Not even 10 seconds. Game time, JP. I'm at 39:55, so it's almost half time. Oh, and is it a good match so far? Very good. Yeah, no, really good. I mean, it's wet, but it's really good. They aren't taking the 3 points. No, they want a try. They're going to maul it. Come on, get it to the backs. I need Pinot, Dupont, or Intermuck to score. Or Jaminet, to be honest. That's going to be Villiers. The one guy in the back line I don't have in my fantasy team, but it's pretty well worked. Yep, that's pretty well worked. Yeah, that's a pretty brutal way for the Italians to finish the half, but clinical from the French. They didn't want 3. They wanted at least 5, and they got them. Jaminet's got a tough conversion kick. Doctor Who, we've got a league we can join for fantasy. I am just playing in the Rugby Analysts League. I didn't start my own one in case I got a bit too... He's nailed it. What a conversion. 18-10. Yeah, I didn't launch my own one because I figured I would potentially spend an unhealthy amount of time on it. Whoops, not Italy. France. There we go. Right. Have a look at the match stats in a second, but so far it's a pretty good game, fellas. Ladies and gents, pretty happy with that. Not the massive hiding that was predicted. Not yet, anyway. Man. The rain is relentless over here. Italy playing a lot better than Wales did in yesterday's game, JP. Harsh, but probably fair. Yesterday's Welsh game was, yeah, pretty disappointing. Brian says that's a second half, at least 4 more French tries. Probably. If history tells us anything, it's that France should run away with it after the hour mark. We had a very rainy night. It woke me up. It was so loud. Jeez, that sounds pretty intense, April Toy. The only good thing about the rain being so heavy over here is I'm hoping it will drown out the sounds of my voice. Because yesterday my son was like, oh yeah, I could hear you. Because his room's just through the wall. He's like, yeah, I could hear you talking. But I decided to go back to sleep. And I was like, well trained. Kakinen says, here's the stream Mark put up. Just witnessed Amy Barrett Theron cop a ton of abuse in the Lions-Bulls game yesterday. Especially sexist comments. That's... what has it got to do with anything, if she's a woman? She's a ref, right? Like, I mean, refs cough a bit of abuse generally, but nobody's sex has got nothing to do with that. That's just dumb, man. But you read a bunch of dumb crap online, but I guess good on you for calling it out, because people need to be called out when that happens. I do it to my dad every now and again when he says something stupid. Hopefully my kids will do the same for me. James reckons Italy can do it. You're crazy, James. I am going to call you crazy. Eric says, did you watch the Rugby Pass documentary about Italy recently? I watched it last night. Yeah, it was really good. Really, really interesting stuff. The only thing I'm disappointed in is Kieran Crowley seems to speak really bad Italian for a guy who's been there as long as he has. I was expecting him, like Bramstein speaks apparently pretty good Italian. Like, he did all his interviews in Italian despite the fact that the journalists he was talking to were English speakers and he's South African. I don't know if his first language is Afrikaans, but I would have thought his English is going to be better than his Italian. He spoke it all in Italian. It shows you what the playing for Italy means for him, I guess. Timothy says it's going to be hard to count Italy as an easy win in the near future. I hope so. I really, really, really hope so. It's no good having a team which just gets beaten by, a load of points every year. Full-time BC seems to be a ton of hype, especially Pollard eating some bench for him. Yeah, he's a good player, for sure. I think his tactical kicking game still needs work, but, I mean, he put in a pretty nice cross kick today, didn't he? Can agree with you on Kieran's terrible Italian, like there was no effort with proper pronunciation. I will admit, generally speaking, Kiwis are not the best for learning second languages, especially of his generation, so maybe that's part of it. I don't know. I would have thought if he's been in Italy that long, he would have had better Italian, but I lived in China for 7 years and certainly met a few people from Australia, New Zealand, like America and whatnot, who had lived in China for also a long time and didn't speak virtually any Chinese. So, yep, just because you live there doesn't mean you pick up the language if you don't kind of make an effort. Tim says maybe I should have gone to the pub. Yeah, maybe. If you're interested in the match stats at halftime, run meters is 187 to 77, so France has had a lot more of the running. They've had more possession, 58%, more territory, 67%. And Italy have had to make more than double the tackles, 81 to France's 40, but both sides are tackling in the 90s. So, yes, clean breaks is 2 apiece. But the fact that Italy's made double the tackles could mean it's going to be, I don't know, like harder for them come the second half. Cheers, Benin. I don't know the correct pronunciation for your name, dude, but cheers. Sorry to be cheersing you with some water, but it is still 4 in the morning. But yeah, man, cheers. Appreciate that. Easy says Italy playing well, like in their defence. That's been, I think, one of Kieran Crowley's number one objectives is to tighten up the defence. So I think it's easier to win close games if you're a good defending team than a team that can score a lot of points but concedes a ton of points, right? More beer money for 2 cents, James. Exactly right. Although with Six Nations times, it's more like coffee money because I'm generally not drinking beers at 4 in the morning. But yeah. Wales made 134 tackles with 17 missed after 67 minutes yesterday. Yeah, that's a tough ask. Reynald says, Vive la France. En route to a Grand Slam, I guess. Fingers crossed, mate. Your team needs to get that trophy at some point. If Italy can score next, says Mountain Elysium, can they keep it a tight game? If France score next, unfortunately, they are on the wrong side of a hiding. I do think with Italy making double the tackles in the same amount of time, the guys are going to get tired. So logic would tell me Italy are going to fade after an hour, but I hope not. Do I speak Chinese, Timothy? Yeah, my Chinese is alright. I could certainly converse. Yep, pretty solid. 2 cents. Kerry won 115 against Dublin 0-1-1. Okay, that's Gaelic football, I am assuming. Wales at their lowest point in years. Italy will win by 10. Big call. Don't know if I'll be putting money on that one, but yeah. Italy last win against Wales was 2007. I can't see it happening personally, but we will see. I think it's a bit hard to judge Wales after that one game. It's like the Aussies got a hiding from the All Blacks in the Rugby Championship, but they still managed to finish second, right? So, yeah. I'm not saying Wales are going to finish second in the Six Nations, but I'm just saying that one result doesn't necessarily write off the team. But yeah, we'll see. If France got a win, if Italy got a win, it'd be massive. It'd be huge. They need a win somewhere. What are Ireland's chances of winning Orange? If they can win in France, or hope France drop another game, pretty solid. Adams at 13 didn't help. He was too easily exploited. Far better on the wing. Yeah, I think, Dan, that's probably fair. I think Ireland, with the amount we saw Archie and whatnot get the ball, I think that was part of the plan. Sol says, considering France put in their field the top players, Italy is playing flawlessly. Yeah, they're playing pretty well. I agree. I don't know if it's flawless, but they can be pretty happy with that first half. Absolutely. Absolutely. Reynolds is talking something about Ireland, I guess. But I don't speak French. My Chinese is much better than my French. Texas says, in Italian, I'm frustrated watching this match. We should have been ahead if we could do touch properly and put up at least 4 to 5 phases. The defense is good. That's true. The French have turned you over a couple of times, and you gave away one pretty soft try. But I still think you can be relatively pleased with your first half. General says Ireland to beat France by 15. Big call over in France, but I guess we'll see. That's the thing about the Six Nations, you genuinely don't know who's going to win. Last Jedi says, don't write off Wales. I think they're going to win the championship just like last year. They just have to have the confidence of the Welsh people who only played one game. I don't think you guys are going to win the championship, but I also agree that you can't just write a team off because of one game. We've got a bad habit of doing that as rugby fans, and the last game means everything. Like, you should have seen if I can be frank, you should have seen the shitstorm over here in New Zealand after we lost to Ireland and to France. Like, oh my God, you would have thought the world has ended and it's the worst All Blacks team in history. Yeah. So, I'm French and we haven't even gotten going yet, says Le Mercalant. Second half will be a lot more urgency. Can't see us beating Ireland, but that's a problem. Team can. Oh, nice. That's probably true. Your boys have still got a bit yet to offer in the second half. David, cheers, man. Cheers for all the content. I don't know why that didn't fully display. Cheers for all the content. Love from Scotland. Spreading the love after the game yesterday. Cheers for that, David, mate. Appreciate that. Get myself some beers or coffees at some point later in the day. Oh, second half looks not too far away. Sebastian Negri is having a wee word with Mike Adamson as they run out onto the field, planting a seed of doubt somehow. James says, someone asked what happened to the 10-14 rugby. Their big mistake was going to Spark Sport. They pretty much died. It's a weird one. If you don't know the 10-14, they had a great YouTube channel, did real deep dives about like tactics and whatnot. But these guys set themselves up as a company, and essentially their goal was to go mainstream. So they did. Eventually their work on YouTube got them a job with Sky TV in New Zealand, and Sky made the best use out of them. You guys probably wouldn't have seen it if you were abroad, but they had a weekly show here in New Zealand's TV. Second half's underway. They would do breakdowns of the Super Rugby results and then the internationals as well. And then when Sky didn't get the Rugby World Cup rights for 2019, they left Sky and went to Spark. But Spark didn't use their content much at all. They buried it at the bottom of their listings. So since then, they've never really been seen again. I know they're about, but I don't know what they're doing. They haven't posted any content in pretty much years. Since 2019, it's really gutting. Kakana says, take no offense, please, Mark, but you guys don't like the world is ending over a few losses. I'm embarrassed for you. Oh, it is. It's crazy. If you can't listen to the radio, talkback radio, after New Zealand loses a couple of games, or a game, because, yeah, it just goes nuts. Right, we're 41 minutes, 5 seconds into this one. Villiers just put a pretty speculative kick in, but it's not bad. Padovani wasn't able to clean it up. They're under heaps of pressure. Oh, man. Varney had to get that one out with his wrong foot. And, yeah, that's a lot of pressure. Cracking start for the French. Jasper, afternoon. How are you doing? Not too bad. I'm doing alright. Although it's 5:05 in the morning. Hydra says to look up. Uh-oh. Here's trouble. Not Villiers again. Line out. Woki takes it. By Dupont. Dante. Oh no. Somebody stop him. Just short. God, Dante was so close there. How did he not score? Maybe he did. Goodness gracious me. Dante is a big unit of a man, and he was moving. Wow. On-field try. Dante's short. Surely. Your stream's about 10 seconds ahead. How's that possible? Dante's definitely short. Kakanen's getting Bioshock vibes from the fact that people tell me to look up when they know something's going to happen. I played Bioshock back in the day. You can't see nothing there. But if it's an on-field try... Jason says, I was looking at one of your sports shows when Ireland won or beat the All Blacks, and they gave Ireland no credit for when the All Blacks were beating the division that game. Sounds like the breakdown, man. Don't watch that. Sometimes it's pretty awful. You can't see the line on that angle, but Marchand does seem to be putting the ball down. Taking a wee while to make this decision. Commentary on my team is convinced that's a try. So it's not going to be a try. He was bound. So he's taking the ball while he's part of the ruck. Okay. Wow. Penalised. It's an Italian penalty. That is a exit. I like the breakdown, but they focus more on what the ABs did wrong than Ireland did right. I guess that's just the audience. They're playing it to Kiwis. If they started talking up about, I don't know, how well some of the Irish guys played, a lot of Kiwis wouldn't know who these guys are. They got to focus on their their audience, I suppose. Jesus says heroic defending. Yeah, it looked like Dante was through for all money, eh? Garbisi's kick, that one's not the best. Fiku's grabbed it. Did I watch Wibble's video on how the French attack works? No. Is it any good? Wow. Actually win a penalty. Lucchese's a pretty good hooker. Haven't seen him much ball in hand though. He loves a carry. Kakana says, well, they ought to know. I think a lot of people from the north don't know the southern players apart from the biggest guys, right? And a lot of the southern guys don't know the northern players. I think that's normal. Maybe. Right, what's Italy going to do here? I mean, sometimes even the pundits don't know, to be honest. But anyway, that's something else. Andrews going with some load shedding. Ah, that's a bugger. "30-minute deep dive." Goodness me, that is deep. Come on, Monty. He's not had enough chance to carry in this game. My commentary team just mentioned what someone here said earlier about how Monty's related to the Wallaby, former Wallaby Digby. And Jez, my commentary team also just mentioned Sean Edwards, so maybe we're on the same commentary. I don't think so though. Oh well, there was a few phases there from Italy, but they've been turned over. If you're looking for the game live on any other Six Nations, RTE and Virgin One are sharing live games with VPN, able to see them all. Right. Yeah, I use RTE and Virgin, plus BBC and what's the other one? Oh, ITV all the time. Olivier's in France. How you feeling about this one, man? 8 points ahead after 46. Emma says Italy are showing an improvement. Emma? Yes, I agree, mate. But still, 60 minutes is going to be where the game really becomes a test for them. Villiers, he's not getting through there. He's almost putting the touch, but not quite. Oh, Italy's defense is still holding. Galbisi takes it quickly. Gemini is going to return that with a bit of interest. France are going at a rate of knots. Yeah, Intermark in my fantasy team I don't think it's going to do bugger all. This is the best defence thing I've ever seen, says Niall. It is not bad so far, eh? Seriously. Hydrus is to look up. Here's ominous times. If Pino goes in for a try, I wouldn't complain because he's another one in my fantasy team who's not been clocking up a lot of the old run meters. Oh, I should have had Villiers, shouldn't I? Bloody hell. I picked the wrong winger. That's magic though. That's your sevens background right there. Wow. Just as Niall says it, they can see to try. Yeah. Turnover ball. Dupont has a run. Aldry. Ooh. That pass was flat at best. He just turns them inside out, doesn't he? Goes one way, goes the other. Dr. Hoover's got Pinot in his fantasy team as well. I went with Jaminet as the captain, but at least he's accumulated some kicking points. He's missed that bloody conversion as well, hasn't he? 23-10. It's starting to look a bit more like we expected. Dupont is my captain and Italy fly half as super sub. Yeah, I think I picked Dombrandt as my super sub and he didn't do bugger all. Jason says, do a great job with this channel, it's much appreciated. I'd watch more of these live videos, I sure much respect for it. Cheers, man. Yeah, I haven't done live streams for ages actually. Partly because I've got 2 young kids and I try to do the streams when they're in bed. Because this house ain't the biggest and they'll be pottering around the background talking all kinds of nonsense, which is not necessarily a deal breaker, but if there's a screen on, my kids will be watching it. They'll be hassling me about who's winning and who's playing, which is again not a bad thing, but yeah. I try to do it when they're asleep. Makes my life simpler. Oh, more turnover ball. Here goes Villiers. Nah, they got him this time. $23.10 is my scoreboard working? I think so. I'm pretty sure it's still $23.10. Oh, Villiers just chucked it into touch. Here's a chance for Italy. Do miss the lockdown rewatch games. They were fun. Yeah, that's true, eh? That was like the one good thing about all of us being in lockdown and there being no games on, as we went and watched a bunch of old games which you just wouldn't ordinarily watch, right? You wouldn't make time to necessarily watch games from the 80s and 90s. 2007 Rugby World Cup quarterfinal against France, brutal. Why did I watch that? Oh, it's a messy ball from the Italians, but they got it back. Bumba is on, says Gus, and he was in good form in autumn. He's a pretty destructive scrummager, so yeah. Oh, Varney. Not clean ball. The Italians are starting to look a bit rattled at the minute. Come on, France. Let Peno have some ball. Let Intermark do something. These guys haven't done bugger all. French kicking game is dubious, says Hollywood. They've put in the odd good one, but they've not all been classics, that's true. That's a penalty for Italy. They really need to score in terms of this game, but like I said, they're looking a little bit rattled. Neil says, how much has rugby league players and techniques influenced Union? A lot. Absolutely. A lot. Especially defence. There's a reason so many good defence coaches have league backgrounds. I mean, look at Andy Farrell and Sean Edwards. Yeah. I mean, league was just professional earlier than rugby, so it makes sense, I think. Niall says it hasn't been champagne rugby from France today. Not yet. We've still got time to see them really let loose, hit top gear. But it's not a bad thing for Italy. 13 points in it. They score next, it's game on. Oh, they've lost the line out. It's all going to custard for Italy at the moment, I'm afraid. Oh man. Turnover ball again for France. Get it to freaking Pinot. Has he even touched the ball? So the highlights of the Chiefs versus Moana Pacifica. Do you think they'll be competitive? Yeah, if you missed it, Moana Pacifica, the new team in Super Rugby, got an absolute hiding by the Chiefs. How many points was it? Like 50? 50 to 7 or something. I watched it. Yeah, first game is always going to be tough. I don't think they'll be competitive their first year. Not against the New Zealand teams anyway. But, could be wrong. I just think it's too hard to get something from nothing to start with. I think it takes a bit of time to build, but we'll see. Samuel's first year were terrible. Haware's first year were terrible. So it just tends to be a thing, doesn't it? Is that preseason? Yeah, it's preseason. So it's their first ever game. So I think they will only get better from here. I don't know if they'll get beaten by 50 points every week, but it's certainly going to be an uphill battle for sure. Eaton says France need to step up their game if they plan on beating Ireland next week. Yeah, I think France haven't shown us their best, but scarily, likewise, neither did Ireland. Ireland left a lot of points out there last night as well, so yeah. Jack, we're at 55:55 on the clock. What time is it in NZ, Paul? It is 5:24 in the morning. So I'm looking forward to having a second breakfast once this game is finished. 7:24 in Istanbul. Are you in Istanbul? No way. I heard the tea's pretty good. France will step up massively next week, says Shamrock. They often look average against Italy. You might be right. I think Ireland will probably be a bit more clinical next week as well. First game, he's shaking off a bit of rust. That makes sense to me. Rain out here is ridiculous. My yard's going to turn from a desert into a swimming pool. Elysium says, we're interested to see the best union and best league teams play each other in 2 leagues, 1 union, 1 league. Yeah, they did it a couple of times. The set piece is just the thing, eh? You can't get union set piece into league. And set piece is just the core of where rugby's at, hey? So... Will I be going to France 23? How's my French? Neil, I don't think I will, eh? I don't think I will. It'll be both a financial and a family thing, I guess, because I can't imagine me leaving my missus with the 2 kids under 7 for a couple of weeks while I go gallivanting watching rugby. I bet you Villiers gets his freaking hat-trick here while Damien Penaud's sitting out there doing nothing. Could have a big 2 cents meetup one of these days. Oh, no, they've lost it. It's going to be an Italian scrum. But France want that bonus point. Will the world just decide it's done with COVID by 2023? Fingers crossed COVID is done by 2023. Scrum time. We're almost up to the hour mark, so if France is going to unleash, you got to feel like it's going to be soon. It's the second time my commentary team has just brought up the French win over New Zealand last year. Does Stephen Varney speak Italian? I don't actually know. Dante is off. That may mean we see Vakatawa next week. Nemo is already sorting accommodation. Goodness me. Yeah, getting prepared early. I guess that's the way to go. Not bloody cheap. I can imagine. Oh, Pinot, what are you doing? He's totally mucking up my fantasy. 1 minute 50 seconds. 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 1 minute 50 Neil says, do the New Zealand rugby public respect the Northern Hemisphere now more than they did 10 years ago? I would imagine so. We've been beaten by France, we've been beaten by Ireland a lot of times in recent times where we never used to get beaten by Ireland, so yeah, I would imagine yes. When's this bonus point try going to come, folks? It's coming. Fleschen's daughter married to a Frenchman, got the dig sorted. Now that's convenient. That's convenient. (2027) World Cup. Yeah, I think Australia is the preferred candidate. That'll be more within my budget because I got family in Australia. My kids will be a bit older by 2027, and plus Australia's not that far away. Yeah, I got aunts and uncles that I can stay with. Igor says COVID should become endemic this year and become like a super flu. That doesn't sound ideal, but that sounds better than a pandemic. Oh, a long line out to Fiku. Would you like to see the World Cup come to South Africa in the near future? Man, it's been too long. 1995 was a long time ago. I was only a young fella. The crowd is belting out the national anthem. Oh, they've knocked it on. They just can't get this bonus point try yet, France. But it's all France, eh? That's what family's for, to impose on them when you need a holiday, yeah. Exactly. I never contact my aunts and uncles, but you can bet I will be once it's rugby time. Time, Ayrton, I'm at 63-23. They're setting up a scrum because Bumba knocked it on in the last phase of play. Kona says, I've joined your stream now because the stream in Ireland is buffering. Ah, that's not good, man. Well, we're at 63-45. Varney's about to feed the scrum. If anything really major happens, I'll let you know. They're going to give it to Monty Ioane, who gets over the advantage line. That's what he does. But Italy need to exit. But it's just been wave after wave of French attack at the moment. Richard, long time no stream. Yeah, man, way too long. Way too long. Haven't seen me here since the autumn, I know, right? Hydra says to look up. Whoa, Peno just got taken out. Peno had a really nice line break, the most we've seen from him all game. He put a little grubber through, but kind of got smashed off the ball. The RTE player is the worst. Really? I watch the URC on the RTE player using a VPN, and I always get it to work. Good thing I didn't stream the Wales game yesterday. I didn't stream the Wales game because it was on at like literally I think 3:15 in the morning. I don't think the Italian guy changed his line there to block Pinot, but he just kind of held his line, so I think that's fine. RTE players working good for me. Good to know, Niall. URC is on RTE, says Richard. Yeah, it is. Not all the games, just the Irish games and some of the Irish games. Not all the Irish games as well. Some of them are on the Irish language channel, but yeah. What time's my game on? It is on 65:07. Rutza has just come off. Canone has come on. It's a French 5-meter line out. They're going to maul it, but I desperately need Dupont, Intermark, Pinot, or Jaminet to go over for the try. I have the VPN as well, and ITV stream is not working. Try ITV, try RTE. One of those should work, surely. Oh, the Italians have won a penalty. They refuse to concede this fourth try, the Italians. Richard says Jalon is a good player, isn't he? He's pretty good, man. He's very versatile. He's one of Gaultier's favourites, that's for sure. Cornell says, how's New Zealand summer been treating you? Heat waves and no rugby made hard times in Cape Town. Yeah, it's been very dry, although it's piddling down the last 2 days. It's the first time we've had rain in weeks. Can you see the day when soccer or basketball will become more popular in rugby in New Zealand, Neil? Basketball is the biggest threat to New Zealand traditional sports. Basketball is fast growing, partly because every school has a basketball court, partly because it's not as physical, and partly because we've got one guy in the NBA who gets paid millions and millions and millions of dollars, probably more than all the All Blacks combined. Shonik, man. Cheers. Good to have you back streaming. Yeah, it's good to be back. Like I said, I was tempted not to get up for this game, but I'm very pleased I did. Cheers, man. Appreciate that. Coffee money. Jesus says to look up. And yes, Richard, you're right. Steven Adams. He's a Kiwi in the NBA, and he gets paid millions and millions of dollars. Okay. Pinot has finally got the try for France. So it's good for my fantasy team. It's the bonus point try for France. It was coming. There aren't many NBA jobs available. That's true, Mike. That's true. But I think a lot of the guys get... Like the first prospect is just to play basketball, then it's to like get a scholarship, and then it's to get an overseas scholarship, and then it's to play professionally, and then it's to... Because we have got a local professional basketball team actually as well. So, yeah. Well, that try was coming, and it came. So it took longer than we expected, but there you go. You can earn $40 million a year playing basketball, not rugby. Yeah, basically. There's a few New Zealanders around the world playing other sports which earn probably more than all the All Blacks combined. Yeah, that's true. Jaminet with the conversion. Ooh, he's just snuck that one inside. It's 30 points to 10. Will the French get 40 in the next 10 minutes, or do you think it's going to keep to this kind of respectable scoreline? Do I occasionally watch some cricket? Not really. Not really. I used to a long time ago, but not so much anymore. How do you see the French front row stacking up against the Irish next week? I do like the Irish front row, but the French front row are no slouches. I think it could be close to parity. Richard sees a wooden spoon in Welsh futures. No. Not that bad, man. Right. Oh, Italy's line out continues to be under pressure, but they got the ball back. They're only 6 meters out. Good test for the French defense. They're very physical, aren't they? Oh, it's advantage though. Come on, Italy. Do something magic. Have Italy had the ball in the French half in the second half? Hollywood, not really. Not really. Oh. This little phase for the Italians is good for the French because you can't just boss the whole game. You need to have a bit of a test. I just really appreciate my love for Tadhg Furlong. Honestly, somehow I don't think that guy gets the credit he deserves. The fact that he's never been nominated for World Player of the Year is absolutely baffling to me. I do not understand it. It can only be because he's a prop. Rugby has its own discrimination against props. Is Italy better now than in 2021? Dieta, I think so. Kieran Crowley's impact seems to be there, but sample size is still a bit hard to tell. Victoria, how's it going? There are other sports that play more money than the All Blacks, but so what? Player with money. I think a lot of it's just parents, eh? What do you want your kids to play? A lot of mums and dads will be like, nah, just play basketball. It's safer than rugby. Don't know. A sweet sidestep or something, isn't it? That's not why I think he should get nomination for World Player of the Year, but yeah, it's also pretty beautiful. Big Tadhg in full flow. Victoria's been watching down at the pub. Fair enough. It's the best place to watch it. Chan's looking, they're not giving up, says Richard. Yeah, no, they're still fighting. They've been under the pump in the second half, but they're still fighting. Albici did well to keep that in field. Just nice to see it's not a hiding Victoria. Absolutely. Absolutely. Does Italy have a good chance to win over Wales, Olivia? I would still say no. But we need to see a couple. We need to see another game. What's Zinedine Zidane doing out there? That's Maxime Lucu, but yeah, I see the resemblance. Bald guy. We've still got just over 5 minutes to go. I don't know, how's this? Gimenez off. I'm thinking, is this a moral victory for Italy, or is it still comfortable enough? Richard says, been watching your streams from Vietnam for the last 2 years. Moved to Canada recently. Watching for the first time from here. Bloody cold, I can imagine. Why'd you go back to Canada? Or is it not back to Canada, or is it just to Canada? Oh, man. Big scrum from the Italians. Look at that. Do you think the Rugby Championship will be on the same level for excitement and attendance as the Six Nations? Definitely not the attendance. The distance is a massive issue with the Rugby Championship getting attendances. You're relying essentially, the Italians have missed touch, on home fans. But hopefully we get the excitement levels if it's a close tournament. Wouldn't call it a moral victory for Italy, but they can be happy to build on it. Yeah. I think if Italy score before full time, then maybe they'll be tipping that balance, but it's not looking likely at the moment. Ooh. Padovani's got a bit of a blood nose. Am I going to watch Ireland v France next week? I will definitely watch it. I just need to look what time is everything on, actually. Six Nations fixtures, let's have a look. Next week, Wales v Scotland, 3:15 in the morning. That's tough. France versus Ireland, 5:45. That's much better. And then Italy, England, 4 a.m. Okay. Yeah, I think we can probably lock in a stream for France and Ireland. Credit to me for getting up for this one, Victoria, man. I didn't want to, Last night I was like, don't want to go to bed. I want to sleep in. But I'm glad I did, because it's been a really good game. Despite the fact that it's 20 points, I think that's good. Done with ESL now and got a decent job. I wanted to change it from South Africa originally. Fair enough, Richard. I did ESL in China, so I know the feeling. Oof. It's going to be a deliberate knock-on in the tackle. Or is it just a knock-on, not a deliberate knock-on? Mike Adamson's having a wee smile. Why didn't Sean Fitzpatrick go into coaching? Yeah, I'm not sure. He went into punditry over in the UK, I think. Claret everywhere, says Richard. And Brian's still got a crooked nose from a schoolboy game. Yep, that'll happen. I love ESL in France, but I'm learning instructional design on the side to do that when you have to move back to New Zealand. ESL is a cool gig to do, especially, not exclusively, but especially if you're young and you want to see the world. Maybe not so much during COVID, but yeah. It's a good way to find a job while you're out. home. Will you be following or paying any attention to the League World Cup this year? I did not even know there was a League World Cup this year on, so probably not. Probably not. Don't really do rugby league. I can't even remember which position goes with which jersey, to be completely honest with you. Federico, good to see you again, man. Cheers. Hope you're going well. This game's almost done. There's only 40 seconds to go. So France are not going to get 40 points. They may be able to get 37. Let's go Warriors. New Zealanders don't care for league. Interestingly, like of the 5 Super Rugby teams, none of them have as many social media followers as our one professional league team. So the Warriors have got more followers. But I guess it's like you probably only support one Super Rugby team, but every New Zealander can get behind the Warriors. So that might make sense. Good chunk of Aucklanders care more for league than union. Certainly there's some areas that league is the dominant game, but union across the country is certainly more. Right, France, one last crack. I think all my fantasy guys, apart from Intermac and Pinot, have been subbed. Villiers wants his hat-trick. Come on, give it to Intermac. He's in my team. Natural Talent says to look up. Villiers really wants that hat-trick, but he's not getting it there. Geez, they're making hard work of it. They had numbers out wide, but the pass wasn't up to it. Oh, he is going to get the hat-trick. Wow. Unbelievable. Hat-trick for him. Well done. Yep, that's solid for France. They got it done eventually, but I mean Italy did as. I mean they did alright, didn't they? Villiers has to buy a jug now, yeah. Federico saw Ireland yesterday. That team is a serious thing. Yeah, next week's game against France is going to be massive. Is Intermac going to get the kick? $37 points to 10. I think that's a pretty, like that's a solid win, eh? It's not like earth-shattering. There's still enough respect in that for Italy, but it's still pretty convincing, isn't it? So, yeah. Yeah. Interesting kind of weird middle point where it's like France didn't obliterate them, but they still beat them pretty comfortably. Yeah. Oh well. I will. Is it sunlight yet? Not quite. It's still dark out there. It's only 5:55. I might wait for the sun to come up and then do the old review of this game, and then off to see Mum and Dad for lunch, drive the car with my bung knee, see how that goes. But yeah, next week, if you guys want to come along for the France and Ireland game, that one should be pretty intense. So I will definitely be here for that one. So yeah, cheers for the chat, guys. It was interesting game, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day or your evening, whatever it is, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys again for another one soon. All right, folks, take care of yourselves, and yes, I shall give Gaza your regards. All right.